The smart glasses market continues to evolve, and Meta now offers two very different takes on what wearable tech could look like. On one side, we have the Meta Ray-Ban display glasses, featuring a screen that shows you everything from navigating the streets, giving presentations using a teleprompter, checking Instagram reels, playing mobile games, setting reminders for things you need to do, having video calls with friends, transcribing audio during live conversations, and even translating foreign languages in real time. On top of that, you pair these frames with a so-called neural band, acting like a remote, letting you do stuff like controlling apps, writing text messages, or zooming in while recording. On the other hand, there are the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s. These do not have a display, but instead rely completely on audio. They mainly focus on listening to music, snapping videos, chatting with your AI assistant, describing your surroundings, translating speech, and enhancing the volume of conversations in noisy environments. While both come from the same Meta Ray-Ban partnership and look fairly similar at first glance, they are clearly built for different types of users. In this video, I'll break down how these two compare in daily life to help you decide which pair makes the most sense for you. As someone who travels frequently for work, I can give you a solid overview of the pros and cons. First off, many people assume the displays are part of the Gen 2 lineup, and honestly, I don't blame them. Meta's marketing around these products has been confusing at best, has caused considerable mix-ups. So let me clear this up once and for all. These are the Meta Ray-Ban displays. They've got a built-in screen and come with a neural band for $799. And these are the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s. No screen, starting at $379. Anyhow, both frames go for the classic Wayfarer style, but the displays are noticeably chunkier. Meta's choice of larger frames was purely a practical decision because of all the tech packed inside. As a result, they're on the wider end of the spectrum, and as I've got a pretty narrow face, they don't fit quite as snug as I'd want. More often than not, I have to adjust them on my head. At 69 grams, they sound heavy on paper, but in practice they never feel that way, even during extended use. That said, I typically wear larger frames to begin with, so that might have something to do with it. The displays only come in standard or large, with the neural band offering 3 sizes. The latter is the reason why they're only available in physical stores on an appointment basis, as Meta wants to make sure you get a proper fit. Since they are complex to produce, they are often out of stock, with some consumers reporting wait times of several months. Let's say you are lucky, you can choose 2 colors, glossy black and sand. I can confirm that the sand ones look optically smaller. To be fair, oversized frames are on trend right now, so paired with the right outfit, most people won't think twice about them being smart glasses. And as the screen is basically invisible from the outside, you can check information discreetly without anyone peeking in from the front. Now, beyond the bold look, there are a few practical details worth knowing. They come with transition lenses that automatically darken when you step outside, and because the screen is embedded directly into the lens, color customization on the official website is not a thing. Prescription options are available, but they add roughly another $200, pushing the total price of the display glasses close to $1,000. The Gen 2s take a completely different approach. They look much more like traditional Ray-Ban Wayfarers, with far less tech stuffed into the frame. This makes them easy to pair with almost any outfit, blending in rather than standing out. In my case, the standard size fits perfectly and sits comfy on my face. For active outdoor activities, I'm not nearly as worried about losing them. Weighing just under 51 grams, they're light enough that you almost forget you're wearing them. And they're also faster to purchase, as they don't require a neural band, eliminating the need for an in-store appointment. Plus, being mass-produced means you can find them in just about any shop or online. The Gen 2s come in matte black, gloss black, and cosmic blue with occasional limited editions like transparent frames. You also get actual lens options, including polarized, transition, and clear ones. Prescriptions are cheaper as well, starting at around $50. To keep the video organized, I'm mainly focusing on the Wayfarer design, but the Gen 2s also come in other styles, like the Skyler and Headliner. So the takeaway is simple. If you want something bold, the display glasses are worth considering. If you want smart glasses that disappear into your everyday look, the Gen 2s are the safer choice. It's clear by now that one has a screen and the other doesn't. The Meta Ray-Ban display glasses come with a full visual interface that includes a menu of apps, a dedicated section for Meta AI, you got widgets like a calendar and stocks, plus a range of adjustable settings. I'll be taking an extensive look at the camera, video call, and translation features later in the video, but some applications already deserve a mention, like navigation, which displays directions through a mini-map in your field of view. It's still limited to a handful of cities and only supports a walking mode, but promising nonetheless. I wouldn't recommend using it while commuting, as it's intended for short distances and often can't keep up with the speed of travel. WhatsApp feels more flashed out, letting you text friends on the go, send photos directly from the glasses, and even jump on video calls whenever you want. Total different subject, the teleprompter is quite impressive too, and works as a great safety net for stage presentations. And in meetings, having a few bullet points ready can be just as useful. Instagram deserves a mention as well. Having videos appear directly in your line of sight feels incredibly futuristic. You can swipe through reels, like, and share them with friends. As for music, I can keep it brief. You can access your favorite playlist, turn up the volume with your actual hand, and let your voice assistant choose a track based on your environment. It is indeed true, you can even play games on the frames. They're just small mini games you can play during moments when you got time to kill. It's not that special, but I guess it's nice to have. Lastly, there's Meta AI. Every answer appears visually, whether it's step-by-step instructions on how to do something or suggestions for nearby places with added context. This is by far one of the coolest things you can pull off. In daily use, you're looking at a minimal display, meaning you are not browsing the web or watching videos. It is designed for quick, glanceable information that disappears after a couple of seconds. Thanks to having an okay field of view, the screen size is readable and doesn't tend to block your sight. But in bright weather conditions or visually busy environments, your feed can fade into the background. And if you live somewhere with regular snow or rain, keeping the lens clean becomes kind of annoying since the heads-up display relies on clarity. For those who need it, there are accessibility settings, like tweaking the screen, zooming in on the UI as seen here, and your voice assistant describing your surroundings. It is also worth noting that the display sits only in the right eye, so your gaze is slightly off-center. While I'm used to wearable tech myself, some people I demoed the displays to reported eye strain or difficulty focusing. In that case, it may be worth waiting for a future device with screens in both lenses, similar to Meta's Project Orion glasses that I recently tested. With Google and Apple knocking on their door, I don't think it will be long before we see these in the wild. So, in general, most apps on the display glasses are experimental and make it feel like you're using a dev kit, partly because you're limited to Meta services. Beyond the pre-installed features, updates have been slow, and it doesn't let you connect to lots of mobile apps. There is currently no native Play Store for downloading more, and it is still unclear what Meta's roadmap is for these wearables. Essential apps such as Mail, Health, and Apple Pay are notably absent. Anyways, the Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s skip a screen entirely. Everything is handled through audio. When listening to music, you simply tell Meta AI which playlist you'd like to hear, or adjust the volume with a prompt. The same goes for WhatsApp. You can ask it who to ring or read out your text messages. And any questions for your voice assistant are delivered through the inbuilt microphone. Getting updates on your runs or bike rides is just as seamless. And if you're in the mood to relax, you can even access your ebooks directly through the glasses. Compared to the displays, it lets you pair to more mobile apps, including Apple Health and Strava. Now, features like a teleprompter and Instagram are obviously missing, as doing that over audio doesn't make much sense. Surprisingly, there is no integrated navigation, so you are forced to grab your phone and start your own routes. Just like the displays, you still have to keep the lenses clean, of course, but it's less of an intense process, since you're not dealing with a screen you need to see at all times. And the type of lens used feels easier to wipe down. Now, for those seeking accessibility features, they can connect to the Be My Eyes network, allowing sighted volunteers to assist you in real time. And Meta AI also offers a mode that provides more detailed descriptions of your surroundings. All of these features keep your field of view completely clear, and for some this makes their daily life feel more relaxed overall. I can see why people find it easier to talk to others without the distraction of a feed popping up, allowing them to stay in the moment. So if you like the idea of seeing information, the display glasses are the more compelling choice. If you'd rather keep things simple, the Gen 2s may be the better fit, but expect to rely on your phone a bit more. Before we move to the controls, today's sponsor lets you customize your frames for a good price. Thanks to VR Wave, you can upgrade your display glasses with prescription lenses and let you pimp your Gen 2s with colored inserts. You can pretty much change up the looks of the entire lineup with tailor-made options for your eyes. On their website, you got way more choice than Meta could ever offer, including loads of coatings like mirrored and gradient lenses. Switching is easy. For the display glasses, you simply overlay the prescriptions onto the originals, and the Gen 2 lenses pop out, allowing you to swap the old for the new. Worth highlighting are the photochromic ones, which automatically adjust their tint based on UV exposure, providing clear vision indoors and darkening to sunglasses level protection outdoors. This eliminates the need to switch between sun and regular glasses. So you can score a pair yourself at vrwave.com, shipping worldwide. For more info, check the description below. And in case you have any questions about a prescription, you can direct message VRWave. Now, let's take a closer look at how these glasses actually feel to use. Because the biggest difference isn't just in what you see, it's in how you control it. The display glasses come with Meta's new Neural Band, which allows you to control the interface using subtle finger and hand gestures. You can pinch to select, swipe to scroll, summon Meta AI with your thumb, twist to turn up the volume, and even write messages by tracing letters on a surface or in midair, making you feel like you're living in the future. This input system, in combination with its haptic feedback, feels surprisingly natural, especially in situations where talking to your glasses or touching the frames is not ideal. Comfort-wise, it's lightweight and doesn't dig into your skin. It does tend to catch dirt, and after a few months, you start to see the material fraying at the edges. You can wear it under your clothes and or with gloves if you like. That said, the Neural Band isn't perfect. Gesture recognition can be inconsistent, and Bluetooth connection issues sometimes occur. The biggest downside is that it is an additional device you must remember to wear and charge. While I happily slap on my smartwatch every day, thinking about the Neural Band sometimes feels like extra effort. Using the displays without the band is possible, but because the interface is so visual, relying on only voice or touch can feel clumsy. For Meta, the next logical step would of course be to create a smartwatch themselves, and looking at recent reports, they're already working on one as we speak. The Gen 2s use no remote whatsoever. Since they don't have a heads-up display, there is not really a need for a Neural Band. Controls handled through voice commands and touchpad on the frame, which, as mentioned earlier, is sufficient for most everyday tasks. However, needing to dictate long voice messages in public is not ideal. Ultimately, the choice comes down to how you want to interact with your tech. The display glasses offer a futuristic, gesture-driven experience, while the Gen 2s keep things simple and screen-free. Both frames include a 12-megapixel ultra-wide camera and 32 gigs of storage. The display glasses record video at around 2.5K at 30 frames per second. Stabilization, contrast, and brightness holds up well in daylight, while nighttime results are more mixed. Photo resolution sits at 3024 by 4032, which is good enough to keep your phone in your pocket for casual moments. Where they really stand apart though is the on-screen preview, which lets you frame your shots properly. Let's say you spend a lot of time on social media and like sharing your daily life without the risk of having to shoot things twice, then this feature is an absolute lifesaver. Oh, and when you hit the record button, an LED light will illuminate, letting folks know you're recording. On top of that, you also get a 3x zoom through the Neural Band. It honestly still feels a bit gimmicky, as the quality isn't that good, but makes me think about how tech like this could one day enhance our sight. After recording's done, you can directly review everything in the gallery, decide what to keep on the spot, and send it off right away. There are limits, including a 5-minute cap and a higher chance of overheating during longer sessions. Additionally, the mobile app lets you edit your footage and modify things with the support of Meta AI. The Gen 2s push video even further to 3K, giving slightly sharper footage with an optional 60 FPS mode at lower resolution. Image processing is otherwise broadly comparable. During the right conditions, your memories will turn out beautifully. Like the displays, they're strong in daylight and less consistent at night. Photos come out at the same resolution and usually look amazing right when you capture them. While you can't see the feed in frame, you can ask Meta AI to send stuff straight to your friends. As it utilizes ultra-wide, most of your memories will turn out fine, but if you're a perfectionist, that may not be enough. Just like the displays, you can check the recordings in the mobile app, then download them to your phone and tweak things if you like. As said, they share the same indicator, 5-minute recording limit, and run noticeably cooler during extended use. So, if you're a bit of a camera nut, having a live preview on the display glasses is incredibly valuable. The Gen 2s, on the other hand, trade that for better battery performance, which I'll get to in a moment. Translation is one of the strongest features overall. With the display glasses, you can look at things and have translations appear directly in view. Multiple languages can be translated at once, and your AI can provide more detailed context if needed. You do have to get fairly close for accurate results, but overall has been handy in daily life. Of course, they translate speech too, supporting a handful of languages. Just face the person you're speaking to, and the rest happens on its own. It is one of those features that feels like it could become the gold standard for smart glasses in the near future. During conversations, the displays can also transcribe audio in the form of live captions, which is extremely useful for hearing impairments. This, crazy enough, even works for live performances or watching videos on a screen. Last but not least, the frames can describe your surroundings and provide spoken summaries, acting like a personal tour guide. I don't use this feature much, but for those who experience the world differently, it could have a meaningful impact. It may come as no surprise that the Gen 2s handle translation through audio rather than visuals. Spoken language and contextual information are played back through the speakers. Once you know the prompts, there's a lot you can get out of these. I do wish Meta would move faster when it comes to expanding its languages support. For quite some time now, you can only choose English, French, German, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. A feature that was recently added is conversation focus, which enhances the voice of the person you are speaking with. It works quite well, and I wouldn't be surprised that at some point in time these could serve as hearing aids. So yeah, translation ends up being one of the most useful features on both. The display glasses make it more immediate with on-screen visuals and live captions, while the Gen 2s rely on audio and voice tools that are still surprisingly capable in everyday situations. A totally different subject are video calls. Video chats feel personal on the display glasses as you can see who's calling, chat with them while seeing their faces, and share your perspective too. I love doing these when I'm experiencing something exciting without wanting to grab my phone. Logically, what you are missing out on is not being able to share your own reactions. I don't think it will be long before Meta rolls out virtual avatars to solve this problem. On the Gen 2s, calls are partly audio only, but still functional. It is capable of announcing who's calling, and you can ask Meta AI to answer or decline. Getting to do this hands-free never gets old, and can confirm the sound quality matches the displays. However, neither model offers a dedicated speaker mode, which can make calls harder to hear in louder environments. By the way, before I forget, you can share your point of view too, but just like the camera app, you can't see what's in frame. Interestingly enough, it does seem to stream video in a much higher quality. So in the end, it really depends on what kind of person you are. Having live video chats on the displays is a cool feature, while the Gen 2s take a more minimal approach. It really comes down to how you prefer to stay connected. In terms of battery and performance, the differences become very clear. The display glasses are noticeably more power hungry due to the built-in screen, lasting around 3.5 hours of active use, so expect to charge them multiple times a day. The charging case extends total usage to roughly 30 hours, and the neural band on the other hand will last you several days. Both models run on the same Snapdragon AR1 Gen 1 chipset, but the displays seem like they could have benefited from a faster and more modern chip, as it feels sluggish at times. I've experienced unresponsive apps, occasional crashes, and Meta AI taking longer than it should to respond. You'd expect frequent stability updates for Meta's flagship product, but they have been surprisingly rare. As for the case itself, well, innovative, I'm not a huge fan of the foldable design. It's a bit bulky and can snap open if dropped. Getting the glasses out can be a hassle, with the whole magnetic mechanism feeling slightly overcomplicated. I don't run into these problems on the Gen 2s. With mixed use, they last closer to 8 hours per charge, which is twice as much, and with the case adding roughly 48 hours of extra juice. Its housing is compact and fits in almost all pockets. From a performance standpoint, they appear more stable overall. Occasional Bluetooth issues are the only reoccurring problem I've encountered. Meta pushes far more updates for the Gen 2s, resulting into being snappier in daily use. So, conclusion. Ultimately, this isn't about which pair is better, as they are simply different types of wearables. The Meta Ray-Ban display glasses and its band offer an early glimpse at heads-up information and AR-style interaction, which at some point I genuinely believe will go mainstream, evolving into something that works so naturally you don't even feel like you're committing to it. The second version displays will likely refine that vision into something more consumer-ready, as these ones are still in search of an identity in terms of hard and software. As of right now, they mainly appeal to developers, people with impairments, and curious early adopters who enjoy experimenting with emerging tech. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2s feel far more refined thanks to their simplicity. They blend seamlessly into your daily life without too much fuss. Every consumer can pick them up and will instantly know what to do. I find myself reaching for the Gen 2s most often, because I know I can rely on them all day. It has a strong identity, but it's not trying to replace your phone, something the display lineup might pull off someday. So yeah, it's great to see Meta pushing smart glasses forward in two different ways, and it's exciting to be in the middle of it all. Let me know in the comments which pair you'd go for and why, and I made sure to put links in the description in case you want to book a demo or buy glasses directly. Until next time, and bye bye for now.